All right, everybody, here's the glorious news. We are in week 14, and this is your last housekeeping video as far as assignments go. I might accidentally give another one next week, week 15, during review, just to kind of reiterate what's going on as far as the final exam goes, but no more new assignments after today. Yay, finally. Okay, so here we go. Day 1 participation. Email me how to classify the number -7. We did this in the notes, so if you are watching this first and then watching the notes, hopefully you can go ahead and just write that down and shoot me an email. So how did we classify it using the different number sets that we discussed? And then there's going to be I'll upload an assignment called Sets and Number Operations. So it's all about different groups of sets, or I shouldn't use that word groups again, I'm sorry. I just usually use that interchangeably with sets. So different types of number sets and different number operations and properties. I guess we should say that too, properties. Using those operations, right? So there's your homework for that. It'll be uploaded in D2L. Day 2's participation, please email me the answer to whether or not Q and multiply, are a group. So does that set Q with that operation, multiplication, make a group? We actually did this problem in the notes, so again, if you follow along in the notes, then you can just figure that out and then tell me, is QX a group or is it not? You don't even have to tell me why. You can just tell me basically day 2 participation, yes or no, so you can figure that out. The homework for that is called Algebraic Structures, and I've actually got that one here with me. It looks like this, so that you have a modular arithmetic thing going on, and it's not just numbers. So you actually have to read the table and figure out what's going on. Your set is WXYZ. Those are given. Here's my WXYZ, WXYZ. You don't even know what operation this is. It's just a generic operation. We use that notation some in the notes, so you should see it and understand what's going on with that. No big deal. But here's what we get whenever we do Operation Bar, I think is what they a lot of times call it, or Operation Cross, I think actually was that called, with set S here. So tell me what you can figure out using that stuff right there. And there's actually 7 questions here. You're not going to have to do all 7 questions, but a couple of them have multiple parts. So I'll circle the ones in red like I've been doing with the algebra blocks and only do those that are circled in red. Okay? So that's it for the homework for that day. So participation and a homework for each day, and you are done with the outstanding homework assignments. Now, I do feel poorly about the fact somewhere around midterm I got away from the book, so I did not continue working with you in the book. I think just because this is my first time doing this online instead of face-to-face, sorry about that, guys. I just really got into the meat of the material and didn't do the book stuff. So I'm not assigning a book assignment for you, but you'll notice in Chapter 4, there are some examples from linear algebra, which I mentioned today in class. There are some things about generalizing in this. Chapter 4 is called Expressing Generalizations about Structure. So there's some stuff about how you would set up equations. That would actually kind of tie in systems of equations, stuff like that. Would tie in a lot with what we've done with algebra blocks. And then Chapter 6, well, all of it really, but Chapter 4, 5, and 6. So whenever you get to, was it in Chapter 4? I'm sorry. I think maybe one of the original problems was in Chapter 4, sums of consecutive numbers. There is a lot to be learned about consecutive numbers and what they add up to, how you can figure out if there's evens and odds, and just all kinds of really cool connections that go on in there. So you've got that, and then Chapter 5, expressing generalizations. So just knowing how patterns work. There are some really cool examples in these chapters. So there's the towering numbers one, which is neat. Has a lot to do with addition of consecutive numbers, that kind of thing. There's some problems in here that are all about student work and seeing how your students might do things. Here's a cool triangle activity. It's almost like Sierpinski's triangle, but not quite. But there's some stuff in there like that. Seeing bee genealogy and number patterns. So just some really cool connections we didn't quite have time to do. Under Chapter 6, fostering symbol sense. Trying to get your students to be able to, again, move from the concrete into the abstract. It's really important that they understand what the heck a variable is, an X or a Y, and what those things stand for. Bridging the gap between different representations, all that stuff. There was one more, there was a tiling activity. I wanted to make sure I showed you. That might be in the last chapter. Here. Tiling activity, tiling garden beds. I've done that with kids in middle school before. It's on page 135. Which I guess is still technically Chapter 6, maybe? Anyway, page 135. So it's got a lot of linking the multiple representations. We've talked a lot at the beginning of the semester about, we had that little 5-pointed star kind of thing, and making sure that you know a table versus a graph versus verbal versus all that stuff. So as you're starting to look towards your final exam, think to yourself, hey, don't forget the books out there. There could be some questions on the final exam about that. Remember that there were 3 habits of algebraic thinking. So I'm not saying you need to read the entire book, because clearly there's not a lot of time left in the semester, but just know that there are some connections in there, and if you're looking for particular activities to work with middle school and high school students, there's some cool stuff in there like that tiling activity and things like that. Okay, final exam. It is cumulative, comprehensive final exam, which means you should be able to look at all 3 of your review sample sets, all 3 of your exams, and come up with a pretty good approximation of what your final exam is going to look like. If I have time, I will probably put together some sample questions, but really, any sample question sets that I would come up with would be minimal, and you would still need to look back at your exam, so make sure you can do that. So the information you are interested in is, it will take you, it's a 2-hour exam. It might not take you the full 2 hours, but that's how much time I've allotted. It will be available next Thursday, December 6th. So if you're taking that at a testing center, be aware the Thursday, December 6th through Wednesday of finals week, which is 12/12, December 12th. So that gives you a week. It's just a weird week because usually we've done from Monday through Thursday, right? But because of the way finals fall and being able to get stuff graded, you've got a week, and it's a weird week, starting during review week, basically. You don't have to take it during review week. It's just available because I know some people can only go on a Thursday or Friday. So it'll be available starting next Thursday. If you are testing at an outside testing center, there are 3 of you so far, 1 in Kaufman, 2 in Navarro. If you have been doing that, I will assume you are still doing that, and I will send it to the same people. If you are not doing that, you need to let me know, because remember, it has to be one of the approved testing sites. So if you have been testing in the Academic Testing Center here in Commerce, I will assume you are still testing at the Academic Testing Center here in Commerce. Again, If that is not your plan for final, then let me know. And I want to know this week. So tell me by Friday. That is what? November 30th, I think. So tell me this week if you are not testing in your normal testing center, because otherwise, I'll need to know so that I can look at those testing centers and approve them, make sure that you're good. Okay. In the ATC here in Commerce, this week, all of our testing hours are the same, so I didn't put that on there. Thursday is 10 to 6 this week. Friday this next week, so this is 12-6 and 12-7. So Thursday is 10 to 6, Friday is 10 to 3, that's normal, okay. So those are the normal hours, but then they're open weird hours on Monday and Tuesday, the week of finals, so the 10th and the 11th. They're only open 10 to 3 both of those days. So if you're planning to come on a Monday or a Tuesday of finals week, make sure you give yourself at least 2 hours. And remember, there are other online classes also using this service. So I wouldn't wait until 1 o'clock on Tuesday to try to use them, okay? Because it might be packed. So try to schedule accordingly. And then last but not least, I am also giving, for just you guys, I have scheduled December 12th at 3:30 to 5:30. I will personally, this is with me, in case you want to see me in person, I will personally give this exam 3:30 to 5:30. I think we're going to be in Binion 329, but I haven't reserved that room yet. If not, look on my office door, which is Binion 315. I know if you're in Commerce, you probably have been by my office. So look on the office door or look in Binion 329. I will leave a note if we are not in Binion 329. If you're planning to come on Wednesday, you need to let me know so that I have a test for you. What I've done is my other classes, I have given the opportunity to join you guys, but this is your specific test time. So that's when I was planning for you to do it. If you are in Commerce and none of that works for you and you would like to come to one of my other exams, I have access to an exam on Monday that you could sit in. I have access to an exam on Tuesday you could sit in. And I have an access to a test, that one on Wednesday, 12/12 at 3:30 that you could sit in on. So any of those, please let me know if you want to come to one of those. And I'll set it up. I'll let you know where that's going to happen, and we'll work it out. So that is it, you guys. Make sure you're ready for your final exam. Make sure that you've studied. I'm going to do my darndest to get stuff graded and back to you so that you know in the next week what everything is. The video exams are a slow go. Some of you went a little long. It's okay. I'll deal with it, but it just makes it longer for me to watch the video and longer before I can get your grades back to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start uploading those as soon as I can, and I'll send you out your rubrics so that you can see how that went, so that you can see your video exam grade. I think the bulk of the class is normally off of exam grades, so look at your syllabus. You'll see how they're averaged. And the bulk of the grade is going to be on exams. I think the 3 in-class exams are like 50%, and your final exam is like 25%. So it's a lot on exams. So if you know your 3 exam grades going into the final, you have a pretty good feel for how you're doing in the class, I think. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will do my darndest to get grades out to you. I'm sorry it's taken me forever to get grades back to the online class. I actually have a lot that I just need to upload to you. I have them already sitting on the flash drive. So I'll get those out. The paper grader has done his job. I just need to get them to you. And you'll have that soon. If you have questions, let me know. Have a lovely week. This is it. I will update D2L with week 15 information to make sure that everybody knows what these testing options are. And week 16 is soon, guys. Have a lovely week. Finish things up, and we'll see you soon. All right. Bye.